Hey, hello, Billy Diamond here of Branding for Entertainers, and I'm just doing some videos here today. That's why I got the cool headset on, right? But this is more of a just a casual video for you on social media because I printed this and made this, and it's a really small backdrop. No, it's not. It's actually a table wrap. And I know I've shown my table wraps before. This just happens to be Velcro compatible, so it works perfect for showing you this. Anyhow, but I wanted to show you this because it turned out really nice, and I wanted to talk just a little bit, real briefly, about logo design as well as branding in general. Okay? So I apologize if I seem a little bit wore out. I've been under the weather lately, but pushing forward, pushing through, I should say. But anyhow, this particular client also got a one of my instant up pull up backdrops that is like 5 foot and it'll expand to 10 foot. That's a whole different thing. Anyhow, so he knew that he wanted both a table wrap as well as a backdrop, and I want to say that it's really you have to be careful when you're putting a show together that everything is cohesive, but it doesn't look over branded. So for the backdrop, and I don't have it handy here, I'm getting ready to do a video later on that. But his backdrop has his name. This is just an element from his logo, okay? And I wanted to talk about logos real quick because I want to say that you're always going to get what you pay for, okay? Now, when I say this, I don't mean this to sound negative to whoever did this logo or even negative about him and his brand. That's not my purpose here. My purpose is that hopefully I can educate you just a little bit more. So he sent me the logo, but I also looked on his website, and what I realized with this particular logo, and it doesn't look like this here. Okay, this is a cleaned up version that I worked on, but I noticed that when I looked at it, it just didn't pop. So have you ever seen like a logo or something and it's just like it's something's missing, right? And I understand art is subjective, right? But in this case, it just did not pop, and I wanted it to pop because I felt it needed to pop, right? Especially if you're using a lot of blues and you've got blue on blue, right? So I said, well, what if you send me the artwork and I do an outline and vectorize everything that way? So, and by the way, what was great is he did have vector art that he sent me. So whoever did this logo for him at least sent him the appropriate files so that he has vector files. And if you don't know what vector files are, vector files essentially mean that you could take that thing and scale it up really big to a billboard or building size, and you're not going to lose quality when you go to print it. Okay, much different than the internet and much different than what you see on a screen, whether that be on your PC or on your phone, right? So, long story short, sent me the vector art, and I said, well, let's do an outline around that. And I think just having that white border is going to make it pop more. And as you can see, it definitely makes it pop much more. Now, Mike also says, as I talk to him, hey, I'm a children's and I'm a family entertainer. And this is what I want to also talk about. I always feel it's important to really identify you so that you understand, or that your audience really understands who you are and what you're about. A lot of children and family entertainers tend to lean towards primary colors. Why? Because they're fun, right? So, and that makes sense for branding and for marketing. But in this particular case, we want something a little bit unique. And as I looked around and surfed his website and spoke with him, uh, we collaborated together about the idea of, well, what will make you unique? And I think sometimes the best thing that you can do, aside from being you, is to take and run the opposite direction of what your competitors are doing. So in this case, the family and children's entertainment market is really, really saturated, especially with magicians. Okay? So let's run the opposite direction and make you uniquely you in your market, in your region, whatever that looks like. And let's do it in a way too that it positions you for the potential to make even more money than those guys. And we'll get into that in a moment and as to the why and my thinking behind that as well. But So as I was looking through his website and talking to him on the phone, I realized that he wears this nice vest, and it's paisley. So he really looks the part of not just a magician, but he looks professional. And I said, "Is that the image you want? Is that what we're trying to go for? And who is your audience? And why do you like them?" So that's another thing. Don't just do shows because that's what you do. Do what you love, right? So we talked about that a little bit more as well. And as we spoke about that, it was it occurred to me that, you know what, we could really elevate your brand a little bit more to run the opposite direction than your competition. We can position you that you look a little bit more professional. You have this blue color, which is a nice, warm, friendly color, right? Blue speaks that in branding and in marketing, whether people recognize that or not. Color is really, really important. So, again, so I saw this vest that he's wearing, and I said, well, I think we should incorporate a little bit of that paisley pattern, and it's going to speak some sophistication and professionalism, and it kind of sets you up right from the beginning to look like not just the professional you are, but that this guy is going to be worth the money, right? And it also positions you that it looks like you're elevated as a higher level performer. Okay, so that's really what's important about not just your look of your website and your live show, but even your logo. And I don't know that the logo would be my favorite or my best choice. And again, I'm not here to discuss that or even to again diss on him. But wouldn't it be my thing when creating a brand for understanding what I know about him and just talking to him very briefly on the phone and getting to know him and his market. So those are important things. You don't just slap a logo together because, well, that might look cool. It's really, really important to get it right. Anyhow, we used what we got, and I think we really made it work. So on his backdrop, this paisley pattern, and I'll show you here in a moment, the paisley pattern on the backdrop is a little bit more pronounced. This is, again, going to be a table wrap, and we just took the element part of the logo without his name because we don't want to overbrand. Again, we don't want to overbrand this whole thing. We want it to look cohesive and not just so empowering like everything is brand, 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 right? They're there to see a show. This just happens to be, or should be, more of a, I don't want to say subliminal, but kind of a subliminal message to them about the branding and about the look that they don't even have to think about. They get it. It all looks cohesive. It all looks professional. Anyhow, so the table wrap, let me get in a little closer here, and you can see I pulled in some of this paisley pattern, and boy, it just looks really, really sharp, doesn't it? So what's great too, by the way, is these don't have to be table wraps. I know a lot of magicians that make women appear and disappear. And wouldn't it be great if you could have your very own printed fabric? This stuff is great because this 9-ounce polyester, you can't see through it. It's durable. I'm sure you can hear that, right? So it's not like it's stretchy or anything like that. And it's great because it's polyester, so it's very little wrinkle, right? But doesn't this look classy? It looks like silk, doesn't it? Backside, let me just show you the backside. So it's just white, right? It's a good solid fabric. And again, doesn't have to be limited to backdrops, doesn't have to be limited to table wraps. It can be big forwards to, you put something under and boom, you vanish it. It's that simple, right? And it could be just elements from your brand. So I think that's the other thing I really wanted to show you is that you can take elements from your visual branding to make it your own. And it doesn't have to be a complete logo and everything all the time. It's just those little elements and icons and things like that that will help enhance your brand and make you look like the professional that you are. Again, my name is Billy Diamond. If I can be of any help to you in answering any questions, or maybe you just want to brainstorm some ideas about you and your brand, well, I'm always here, and you can always find me at brandingentertainers.com. And I just want to encourage you to always be you. And again, my name's Billy Diamond. Take care. Bye bye.